Questions swirl over new bridge. President visits China, and government seeks new EITI administrator. Hi, I'm Enrico Beaufort, and this is Uncut News. Do see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Despite claims from the government that the new Demerara River Bridge is close to 50% complete, the design for said bridge has not yet been approved, but the Italian firm Politecnica is expected to approve it soon. The project is expected to last 2 years and has been deemed risky by the Environmental Protection Agency. However, this was only revealed at a public meeting this week. Residents in the area expressed concerns about noise pollution, vibration, and damage to their buildings, and they said they were unhappy that the stakeholder meeting was held after the project had already started. Guyana is making progress on establishing an industrial hemp regulatory authority to oversee the nation's hemp industry, with nominees for the board being considered and a CEO being sought. The government has big plans for the sector, with the land already identified in 2 regions. Hemp is a versatile crop with many uses, including food, textiles, and bioplastics. In fact, there's supposedly over 50,000 uses for hemp. The THC level in Guyanese hemp must be below 0.3% for it to be considered legal, and licenses are required for cultivation or manufacturing of hemp or hemp-related products. The Attorney General says the government will challenge the Court of Appeal ruling in the Parliamentary Secretary's case by appealing it in the CCJ. The Guyanese Court of Appeal ruled that PPP parliamentarians Sarah Brown and Vikash Ramkissoon were unconstitutionally appointed to sit in Parliament, as, while they were PPP candidates in the 2020 elections, their names were not among the 33 persons who were originally selected to take up seats in the Assembly, or rather those who were eligible after the PPP's victory. Nevertheless, the Attorney General believes that the decision is flawed and hopes that the CCJ will provide clarity on who and who cannot be appointed non-voting members of the National Assembly. But here's where things get interesting. Justice Don Gregory also ruled that the court was bound by the decision in the case of Attorney General versus Desmond Moria. In that case, the court ruled that APNU parliamentarians Keith Scott and Winston Felix could not sit in the House as technocrat ministers due to similar circumstances as the current case. Though Nandlall was not the Attorney General at the time, but he was nonetheless the lead attorney that successfully won the case for Moria, he now finds himself arguing against the very case in an attempt to defend the appointments of Ramkissoon and Brown. The ongoing $1.8 billion project to widen corridors from Conversation Tree to Dennis Street in Georgetown is behind schedule, with the Trinidadian-owned Calco Guyana Limited making no progress, according to Public Works Minister Warren Edgell. Edgell has ordered representatives of Calco Guyana Limited to meet with him on the 31st of July to determine if the project will continue with them or be terminated. The project entails the construction of a 4-lane carriageway from the East Coast Highway to Delhi Street, a double-lane carriageway on the reserve west of Delhi Street for northbound traffic, and 2 large concrete bridges to establish a connection to Dennis Street.
Attention truck owners. Between potholes, bad drivers, and high fuel prices, you've got 99 problems to deal with. But with Powered Automotive, your engine ain't one. That's because they stock high-quality parts and spares you need at prices you can't beat. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them at telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GT Eat is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GT Eats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today.
Our nation's president is currently on a 1-week state visit to China, where he will meet with government officials and discuss areas of cooperation, including the establishment of a Shanghai investment desk in Guyana and financing for the Letum to Mabura Hill Road project. members of Guyana's business community are also participating in sessions with major Chinese companies. And on a related note, Huawei plans to establish a research and development center in Guyana and send a team of technical engineers to assess the needs of the nation's private sector. The president believes the center can cater to the entire Latin America and Caribbean region and help with hurricane modeling. A memorandum of understanding is expected to be signed soon. Now for crime news. Yesterday, the Georgetown Magistrates Court dismissed a cyberbullying charge against Joseph Ronkin, who was accused of publicly humiliating and embarrassing the Permanent Secretary of Home Affairs, May Toussaint Jr. Thomas, on his WhatsApp status. The case was dismissed due to insufficient evidence. The prosecution failed to provide evidence of the registered owners of cell phone numbers involved in the case, describe the phone used to cyberbully Thomas, nor provide evidence to support the prosecution's argument in court. Kanu reports that while there has been a reduction in cannabis seizures in the first half of 2023 compared to last year, Regions 4 and 6 have the highest number of narcotic seizures. Cannabis represents 98% of all narcotics seized, while Region 4 accounting for 299.9 kilograms of cannabis seized. Kanu continues to work with other law enforcement agencies to prevent the spread of illicit drugs in Ghana and enforce relevant legislation and all the other good stuff they keep telling us they're doing. Now for today's oil update. The government is seeking an independent administrator for its 5th Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative report, covering the fiscal year of 2021 and due for publication in December of this year. The report aims to increase transparency and accountability, provide disclosures of licensing and environmental data, and incorporate transparency data on the social and environmental impacts of extractive industries. The government will use part of a World Bank loan to fund the project. The independent administrator will conduct a comprehensive gap analysis, evaluate whether Ghana's mining, fiscal, and legal regime is robust enough to manage potential demand for critical minerals, and collaborate with external stakeholders. The duration of the assignment is 6 months, beginning in September 2023, and expressions of interest for the consultancy are invited. And finally, the bid submission deadline for Guyana's first licensing round has been extended to September 12, 2023, to allow for improvements to the petroleum regulatory framework even further, and to ensure that future rounds are governed by a modern regulatory framework. The government will soon introduce a new Petroleum Activities Bill 2023 to enhance management of the sector and provide improved economic measures for licenses. The round has received strong global interest, and the government remains committed to its successful execution and strengthening of the nation's petroleum management frameworks. And yet they still can't start this thing on time.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home or business with Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News, Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel at least was. Last night I asked, how do you feel about the bridge closing down? Did it affect you at all?
But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also, a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description.
Apparently it didn't affect anyone at all, because no one answered. No matter. You all will get another chance this evening. So for tonight's question, the courts are arguing about who can and cannot be a parliamentarian. So with that in mind, I want to know, do you think it's time for us to directly vote for our parliamentarians, or is the current way of the party that wins selecting them just fine? Why or why not? I want to hear from you. So think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.